What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it does it. New you, new year.
New year, new you.
It's the English sometimes. Or like you're thinking about the punchline and so you start with it first and it's like, well, what a bad introduction.
No,
but it's a new year.
They know what you mean.
And it's a new me.
Let's go.
And we were able to spend a bit of the December together.
Hallelujah, that was great.
And you came to Jersey and I felt like you just got born again. Hey?
Bro, it was fine. It was really good. I don't know if you want to go into that.
I mean, I felt like you were born again. I mean,
I needed it. I think I needed the break.
And you did very well. And you were such a good friend because you could have stayed with us, but you decided to go stay away. And you spent time by yourself, spend time reading, spend time praying, spent a lot of time alone.
You know that's me though. Like I know you're clowning me about it, but like that's I need my alone time.
I think it's so good. Like the fact that you kind of create. I've encouraged you. I was like, I feel like it's good that you are creating these sort of rhythms because it's gonna sustain you. So like know, at this specific time, I'm spending like me time. Like I'm relaxing. I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Pouring in again.
You're pouring in again, you're reflecting, you're thinking about the year. You're kind of having these pause moments within the year.
Yeah.
The only trick is you have to like consistently do that.
Yeah. You have to plan it, be intentional.
And just be intentional about it. But I felt like it was very good because even extroverts like myself need moments like that.
I thought that's when you guys go out and party and then get energized.
I know. Okay. I mean, but I never party, and
you know what I mean, though. Like
I hardly. I think I don't.
Not as much.
So I'm not talking about. For me, as a thing of recharge.
Okay.
As much as it is, I'm talking more around like having moments of intentional silence, intentional solitude, intentional like me time. Not like on the self-care vibe, you know.
Nothing wrong with the self-care
vibe? Lens
vibe?
on Instagram, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've got some thoughts on it.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I think a lot of the self-care stuff, especially that is, not all, because self-care is so important.
It's important.
But the stuff that I'm seeing on Instagram feels like it's feeding a lot more into our narcissism. It's feeding into this...
Give an example, because I'm not sure or if you want to.
Yeah, okay, let me
in a way that's
my thing is in the name of self-care, in the name of taking care of yourself, you will take decisions sometimes that affect other people negatively because you're taking care of yourself, or in the name of self-care, you will splurge on yourself because you're taking care of yourself. Now, it's good to splurge on yourself, but I think part of it is you in the name of doing something that's right, you overdo it or you overuse it.
I have a good example.
I don't know if
I have a good example.
Sense?
It's like when somebody gives, but then they're taking photos of their giving. So
doing something good. Yeah, we're not saying don't give. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
But guys, are you seeing what I'm doing right now?
Yes, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, and people are welcome to do whatever, but I think sometimes it also feeds into like
selfishness,
this just kind of self-centered. It's just about me as Luxolo, and I think there should be some sort of thinking and caution around that and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Here's another thing around it. It's like when somebody takes care of themselves, like when you go to the hospital, you're not going to make an Instagram post about it.
You won't. No, you won't.
But
well, some people,
depending on this. But when you're taking, when it's self-care day, however, a week or month or like it's hashtags all over it. Like you need to see. Anyway, that's a thought.
But it's I think part of what we're going to speak about today. I think you have some thoughts, and I don't know if I should bring them out now. But like self-care, Sabbath, rest. All this. It's something's been part of your thinking for like I'd say a good 2 years now.
Yeah.
Are we going there or not?
Yeah, I mean, we should.
Yeah.
I think we should. I think...
Just tell them what we're talking about.
I think we should. So, I mean, obviously, New Year, New You.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has been... with the same thing I say, like with each year, there's a heightened expectation of what that year could bring. And I think we're people of hope. And we should be people of hope.
Yeah.
We should not be people... We shouldn't depreciate, especially in our hope, even when things are hard and tough. And I know that I'm saying that from a very different position and disposition. But we have hope, not because tomorrow is a better day, but we believe in a resurrected King, a good Lord who is for us and not against us.
Sure.
And our hope should definitely rest on that. But we are products of our history. Hey. We are products of our history. What I mean by that is, as we get into the year, we are not our New Year's resolutions, we are not our ambitions, we are our habits.
Just come with you.
And our habits we form habits based on what has happened to us or what didn't happen to us. So, so our habits are formed based on what happened to us or what didn't happen to us. So the normal way is, Luxolo is like this because I didn't have this. Or Luxolo is like this because this happened to me, or I did this.
Yeah.
That's historical, and so we allow history to dictate our today.
Yeah.
Not in the exact same way, but we allow it through our habits and through what we do.
Yeah.
And so that's why even in a new year, we have new resolutions which are actually old.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and you coming with yourself. So it's never. I know the saying is New Year, New You, but it's actually the saying should be New Year, same me,
bro.
And you can still advance and you can still have resolution, but you don't leave yourself in the old year, right? Yeah. So you said what did you give me that quote about your histories?
We are products of our history.
Yeah.
And our history, negative or positive, shapes and forms our habits.
Yeah.
So people who overeat... Oh,
yes.
I mean, I shouldn't use that because that's maybe sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, let me look. Say this, Mars. In our family, there's a history of alcoholism, I'm just saying. You know? Family of alcoholism. And it's interesting, you look at maybe some of the history, some of the people in our family, you're like, hey, like this person overused, this person overused, this person overused, this person overused. Marvin says, I'm using it as an example, I'll never do it.
Yes.
I'll never, I've seen all of these days. But Marvin ends up doing it.
What happened?
I part of it, there's sometimes genetical things, right? Yeah. You could be like genetically prone to addiction, especially. I didn't know this. Did I tell you?
No.
So I had this good friend of mine who was earning a good job. I just came to Cape Town. I was a student.
Yeah.
You know this friend, but I won't say it.
Sure.
And he was earning a good job from the Eastern Cape as well. Lands a very good job. Because of that, goes out partying, lives his best life, gets introduced to drugs. As he gets introduced to drugs, he could maintain it for a couple of years, but it got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Landed on the streets. Landed on the streets with nothing. He was living on the streets with an iPhone, bro.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
That's the only thing he had.
Yes.
iPhone. Right.
Yeah.
And I met him at church. And so I started just having a relationship with him and just talking. And as I got to know him, he tells me a story. He's been in and out of rehab sometimes. And he says to me, through the tests that he's seen, is that somehow through his genetics and family, he gets addicted quicker to things.
Yes.
Right. So he says a lot of the people that he was doing the drugs with didn't get as addicted as he did, but he went super steep. He says he got so steep, he lost his job, he went back, the job took him again, and he was so happy, and he thought he'd never do it again. The job thought he had really recovered because he went to rehab.
Yes.
But a couple of months later, he's still, like, he just could not keep himself, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, there's probably better words, whether it's genetics or whatever, but within him, he is normally and naturally, like he gets addicted very quickly.
Yes, he has an addictive personality, I think they call it, or just basically something in him pulls him towards his substance abuse and stuff.
And that fascinates me. I mean, not that in the person,
but
your body, like genetically, like even before you were born, through your history. Hence, you know, in our family there's a lineage of diabetes. So it's always been a thing of be careful how much sugar we have, because in our family there's this thing, and so you're always aware. Don't eat or drink too much sugar because this thing runs through the family. I think then we're aware of that, but we never, I guess, are aware of some of the historical stuff that has happened to us that forms us today.
So you would say that's key, being aware, right? Because if you're not aware, you can't change, you can't fight, because you come in there, you got your New Year's resolutions or your things that you're trying to achieve, but there's this bag or this history that's pulling you a certain way.
That is so strong, bro. It is so strong. Like
the fact that it's your body, bro. Like
it's so strong. Hence, you need the right habits that will deliver you from it, because we know what we think, what we do.
Habits.
Consistently.
I know where you're coming from, but that's such an interesting language that you're using. Because that's not the language that they teach us. It's have a goal. Have goals and go for it. And that's always been the thing. But you're using very interesting language. You want to maybe talk into that? I don't know if we
the whole goal thing?
Yeah, like, because now you're saying your habits. Why are we talking about habits? Maybe that's the question. Why are we talking about habits instead of like
goals? Because we
are still talking about goals.
We still are.
But the language is
because I find like what makes us as people is the things that we, the power of habits is the fact that you do it subconsciously. So when you're tired, you act in the specific way and you do specific things. When you're hungry, you act in a specific way without even thinking. Right? I'll wake up every morning and I'll make a cup of coffee. Like when I don't have that cup of coffee, I feel it. You're like, Jesus is, I don't know what's happened. Like,
something's not right.
That's because like that has become such a habit in my life. And I think we must be very aware of the habits. It's easy, especially bad ones. It's easy to have them. It's easy to create them, especially the ones that we haven't done subconsciously.
The ones we haven't done subconsciously.
Or should I? Yeah. So in terms of New Year's resolutions, right? This year I want to make this much money, or this year I want to do this, or this year I want to achieve and get this qualification. That's a conscious decision.
Okay.
That's a conscious decision.
Yes.
But each day, me and you have and make subconscious decisions. Me and you sometimes do things that we haven't thought through because we always do it.
Been doing.
Hence people say Marvin is like this, or Luxolo is like this, because it's a habit that you do subconsciously.
So the habit has formed you now. You did the habit, and the habit has made you now. I think there's a better quote.
But
that's basically what happens. And I think maybe this is just a sidebar, but like whatever goals you have this year, these goals, you can go after them. But from what I've realized in my experience, and also like some stuff we've read, you've read those things as well, it's about the things you put behind them to achieve. Have the goal.
That specific thing that you're wanting to achieve.
It's about the systems, the habits, the accountability structures.
Exactly.
I've been trying to wake up early for the last 4 or 5 years, and to be honest,
has it happened?
It happens, but it happens like
sparingly,
like
every now
a month. Not even, bro. Like it'll go three weeks. I'll and then leave it, and then I'll come up again. And I realized, bro, I've never put anything except the alarm, which I just snooze. If you like me, you know that vibe. You snooze on the weekend.
You get used to that vibe, and then
right. And so I realized it's not going to change.
It's not going to change. It will just always be something that's there.
How? Like I need something. for that goal, right? And so I think that's just my encouragement here is like, with other things that I've tried to achieve, I've seen that, okay, if you make this, and it's going to sound super spiritual, but prayer is something that's like I struggle to just like pray, and I think a lot of us, some of us more than others, but right?
Bro, we all, well, I struggle, right? I don't know about everyone else, but
no, maybe we have some very holy people, but if I don't put some structure, bro, prayer is going to be lost on the list.
If you don't plan to pray, you'll never pray, huh?
If you don't have somebody being like, hey, bro, how's this going? Or there's an alarm going off, there's a time things switch off, you know what I'm saying? There's a time, place, you've put the things that's going to help you achieve, right? And they always talk about like the smallest things. You don't have to, James Clear.
Yeah.
The smallest amount that you can do, or the smallest, I don't know, habit, or the smallest thing that you can do to get there.
Yeah,
it's going to help you.
It's the gradual change towards where you want to go.
Yeah.
I think, James Clear says, like, don't even actually be focused on the end goal.
That is so counter everything you ever read or heard.
Don't be focused on the habit. He used the word system. He says, focus on the system.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on the system will shape you and form you to get to the goal. So if you're trying to lose weight, for an example, if you focus on the calories or the weight number, you'll actually be so disappointed at the system because you're like, I'm doing so much, and I'm not getting it, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually say, this is what I'm going to do consistently every day or every second day, it becomes easier with time. And then you have the potential to keep that for life.
Is there some things right now, you going into this year,
I try to.
that you're putting in place or you're looking to do? Just as an example, I feel like people can listen to us all they want, but if we're not giving it to them, okay, what is Luxolo and Marvin doing?
So I try exercise 3 days a week. Okay. Obviously, I want to kill my marriage bun. Bunny.
Let them
know. So the minimum, actually, the minimum is 4 times a week.
4 times.
Exercise for an hour. So
morning, evening?
I do CrossFit in the morning. Yeah, I am. I try read for an hour in the morning, or I try read a chapter book every morning. So that thing not every morning, every day. So obviously, if I read. For me, that's a goal that I want to get. I want to get into the discipline of feeding myself and my mind and my brain consistently. So that's happening. I every Sunday.
How are you planning to do that? Like 3 days, 4 days? Is there? Do you just wake up? What time do you go in the morning?
Yeah, so I wake up at 5.
Oh no, bro! Oh man!
So I'm up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I try most mornings. Not always successful, but generally 5. And then at 6 o'clock, 6:15, I go to gym.
Yeah.
So
it's a tight.
So you try. I mean, and there's other things that people do, like they'll sleep, so I try take out all of my stuff in the morning, I put it there.
System or habit?
Yeah, so I try to put all my gym clothes there in the morning.
Okay.
I couldn't gym when I was here because I'm with you now in Cape Town. I've had very early mornings. So there are a lot of those things, but I feel like part of it is like, how bad do you want it? Like,
those things are important, though.
For me, it's like, I think it's easy to plan, so I have that. Yeah. So on my phone, I'm able to actually switch off. I try switch on my data and my mobile, my Wi-Fi stuff at 9. So so that in the morning I'm actually able to do as much as I can, thinking, reading, praying, exercising. So I've got 4 hours in the morning to do as much of that sort of me time. But it's easy for me to change that, but it's like, how bad do I want it?
Okay.
How bad do I want what I want to have? Now, when I don't, which is often, when I don't reach my goals,
Yes.
when I don't even do those things that I want to do,
Yeah.
it's because of something that has happened to me, something that someone has said to me, something that has shaped me in the past that is informing that. So the whole thing about me waking up at 5 is because I'm a morning person.
Okay.
Or should I say, I have trained myself to be a morning person, because I'm not a morning person. But now I feel like I'm a morning person. And part of that is that when I was a child, a teenager especially, I was a very lazy child. Like
Very interesting to hear from you.
last one,
Yeah,
like
the
last one
out.
out. I did just the bare minimum to get by. Like my parents would always shout. I always scraped kind of through school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was always like just there, like not at bottom, but just like enough
Just made it.
to laugh at the people at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I even think when it comes to me waking up, or even some of those things, it's having just that time to revisit a lot of those thoughts, a lot of those emotions.
Yeah.
Am I reading just because I want to seem clever? Am I reading because I want to feel like I've read all of the books?
Yes.
Am I reading this for me, or am I reading this so I can post this book and show people that I'm a reader? Right? Because I didn't do that really well in school or whatever. And so I need to be consistently and continually interrogating myself so I can form myself. But I won't grow if I'm not intentional about potentially growing and all of that. So that's how I sort of look at it. And now it becomes a forever project. I mean, in December, maybe we might have a totally different conversation and say, but these are the habits that I want to I want to form myself in.
You want to do them so they can form you.
Yes.
English.
I want to really be entrenched in these habits. I spend time exercising, reading, thinking, reflecting. I limit and I try and minimize as much time. And then my best things is on is it Saturday. Sundays I switch off all social media.
So I have to remember that.
So you
try
can
and
only
contact
call
you. I'm
me.
like, this man is not.
So you can only call me on Sunday, and if I like you,
I just thought it was like marriage time, bro.
Which I do.
I just thought this man was busy.
I did it before marriage though.
You had started, you had started.
I did it before marriage, So every Sunday I do that. Every Monday we try fast as well. So, and we've been doing that.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges right now? Would they say the Sunday thing? What is the? There's always a tale. I don't know about you, but
the Sunday, the one switching off all social media. That's our Sabbath day, one could call it, because that's when we go to church. We try. Because I'm very communal, I invite so many people, right? So part of that thing is trying to actually say, on Sundays, we're going to try to do little to no sort of kind of social or whatever things. But sometimes things pop up, and it's hard to sometimes when people say, when we can't meet during the week and Sunday is the only day. The one thing it's hard to rest.
I was getting at that.
I'm driven to think and work and do things, not even pray. I'm saying pray. I'm like you. And it's the last thing I want to do. But I have to train myself. But actually having these moments of taking a break. And for me, part of the biggest break is a break of my cell phone. It's a break of my being reachable.
This is where I was going with this, bro. Because I feel like, you were talking about me going away and having my own time, and I think by the grace of God, I've been somehow just able to do that since I was a kid, right? Yeah. But I know it's very counterculture to switch off, to move away. Somebody was telling me how they struggle just being by themselves. And I was like, I love being by myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I hear you. That's a real challenge in this time. And maybe you want to talk about, you mentioned Sabbath, and I don't know if you've mentioned this in previous podcasts. And I know you've been reading these things, and
Trying,
how does it?
Yeah.
Trying to read on these things. How does that play into what we're saying now about like goal setting and habits and going forward into this year? Just maybe touch on it.
Yeah, I remember that book I was listening to when we were driving to the airport.
I forgot the name, but it was a great book.
It was a great book. So and that book has been so good for me. I mean, it's a Catholic priest, and I find people in the religious space so interesting, Christian or not.
Yeah.
And part of it is the sort of rigidness they have when it comes to their faith.
Yeah.
And it's rigid, and I think for us, and sometimes I don't want to say names in some Christian circles.
Yeah.
There's this whole kind of freedom in Jesus, right? Like it's not a religion, it's a relationship. Yeah. And I've always had been like, but it is religion. Like, yes, it's a relationship, but it's also religion. Like there's things that God calls us to do and not to do, and they are clearly there. And like, because the whole relationship thing feeds into this you and God gospel.
Yeah, it's me and Jesus.
It's a relationship.
Yeah. And it ends there. That's the problem. Because there's nothing wrong with it, but if it ends there.
Exactly. And it's like, it was a Jefferson, what's the guy, the poem?
Yeah. Jefferson Bedker or something.
Yes, it's not about religions.
Why he hates religion but loves Jesus.
But he loves Jesus. I'm like, bro, Jesus was very religious. Every Saturday he went to the synagogue. Every Saturday he had Sabbath. Okay. He fasted consistently and continually. He knew the Bible off by heart. I mean,
he was quoting.
It was not out of relationship. Maybe it was because it's Jesus. But man, it was drilled into him.
There was some of that because he was a Jewish man, and so there's things that he had to do. I mean, even the stuff that he was quoting, it was time. So I were talking about this with a friend, and maybe this is a sidebar, but Jesus quoted some interesting scriptures to talk about certain things.
Yes.
And our sometimes it's challenging.
Yes.
If you look at why would he use this scripture to talk about this? And that's a whole discussion. But continue with your thought about
about Sabbath. And so I think learning to people who are into religious life or in the Christian life where it's super structured. I was reading listening the book about being a monk, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. And he speaks about how he went to the monastery and, how he's sleeping on the floor because identifying with poverty, sleeping, having little to no clothes, you're wearing the same thing and not having and owning things, like your worries, cut off your hair so you don't have to always feel like you need to look good. He says there were no mirrors in the bathrooms in the monastery so that you do not become self-obsessed. Because we already are, right? You don't own a normal cell phone. You don't own a cell phone. There's a landline where people can call or you can call.
Wow.
Wow. And I was like, that is so interesting.
Very interesting.
And I was like, I don't think Jesus calls us to monasteries or those type of...
Well, some people. I don't know.
I also don't know. I shouldn't say things...
No absolutes here, bro.
I shouldn't say so anyway. But I'm very fascinated at these intentional things that people are doing consistently and continually.
We've lost
and it forms you. That stuff forms you. And I'm very interested in some of the things that form us. I was with a couple last night and we're speaking some of the stuff around justice. And I was saying part of it is it's formed people in ways that they don't even recognize and realize. Here's why. You'll get a student who's fighting for fees must fall or whatever social movement there is, all good movements, for them. I endorse all of them, or some of them. But what it's actually done with a lot of youth is it's made us call out, but never check ourselves. It's made us be able to quick to blame and to throw, but we actually then are not able to deal with our own guilt and shame.
That thing with the eye thing that Jesus is talking about.
That thing with the eye that Jesus speaks about. Good movement, right? Good things.
You're pointing at something.
You have to change everything else, but
not me.
Not you. And it's a good critique because you don't want to change yourself so much that you don't do anything on the outside. Or be so self-focused that you don't do anything on the outside. So in one sense, it's an over kind of that pendulum swing. And I think part of it is that stuff forms us to always, like you pick in a fight.
Yeah, everyone is wrong.
Yeah, you're trying to like read in between the lines every single time. Yeah. I mean, it's like, can we do very hard work, like bringing God's justice into this world and still be people of joy? Still be people who gets along with people?
Yeah.
Like you
still building bridges.
You're still building bridges across, even with people that you don't agree with ideologically, you don't agree with theologically. They don't dot your I's and they don't cross your T's, but you can get along with them. So that stuff forms us to saying, actually, if you don't agree with me, you're an enemy. And I'm like,
bro,
no one says that.
People need to go watch our podcast on this. You, huh? It does. You become, and these are believers and then Christians who are now, their identity is no longer in the one, Yeshua. It's on me being the guy who points out, right? And it's interesting because yes to justice, yes and amen to justice. Yeah. Because that's in the word.
Hey, bro.
But
all of it.
Bro, the word is very clear. Our identity is not in that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and then it forms it because also I feel like it's a bit one of those things where, like I said, yes and amen, and people just don't know how to do that. Right?
It's a jungle. It's a jungle. It's a
jungle.
It's a jungle. It's a
English.
You gotta ish my bro. I mean, I haven't went to Oxford, but look at me here. But here's my thing. Even people, even pastors who speak out against saying what we are saying, all with good intention, Hence I'm saying I think we need to put this disclaimer, is because even the people who say this thing and who see it themselves are sometimes wrong. Because they're getting their identity from calling other people out as well.
Calling other people who call people out.
You know what I'm saying? So those people are wrong. Those are like, whatever. Those are the social justice. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't call their names. And I think part of it is it feeds into what they've been. You know, it's kind of that whole like log thing that Jesus is speaking about. Like you calling what other people are doing wrong, not seeing that you are wrong, because you think you're doing God a favor by saying other people are trying to do A, B, C, D, F, G, but you're not seeing the self-righteousness in yourself.
Bro.
Because you're building a platform or you're building off other people's thing. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I don't even know how we got all here.
I don't know how we got here,
but this is
it's a new year, new you thing.
Yes, let us, and I think let's run that one off in that pointing out the wrongs in others and you being the one that's look. And here's the thing. So I'm thinking about this in faith circles where you get these guys who that's their thing, where they've made a ministry out of calling other people heretics or calling other people who don't agree with something else.
Or calling other people names without calling them names.
Without knowing them even. Oh, yes. Repeat that? Calling other people names without calling them names. Yeah.
And maybe subliminally, that's what we also do through this podcast. I mean, it could be a thing that we must really look into, and it's definitely a possibility.
But we have a conversation.
And obviously, we're doing it with good intention, but it could also rub off in that sense, where maybe I think I need to also call myself out in that way, where
like it's a possibility.
I'm considering myself to view everything, but not knowing that there could be some complicity in my own heart and life. That's good.
Yeah. Get back to the
Sorry.
New year, new you. What are you feeling about this year? What are you? Because let me start with me, I guess, because then I can go to you. I feel like we've been in such a low for the last 2 years.
Yes. We have been as a people, as a
community, as individuals. Can only go up from here.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my optimism. That's my hope that you're talking about.
I don't know if you want to kind of just share. A lot of people have been asking me about the shirt you're wearing.
The classic
living legacy and kind of where we are going. I think I can share a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how you are feeling about where we're at as a team, as and kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I think I think part of that thought I was trying to say is I'm hopeful, joyful. I think we're in a good space. I think I have a lot of hope for what the Lord wants to do. We need your support. We need a lot of like you guys are watching it. If you enjoy what we do, please just I have to plug this. Yeah, give us the money. No, just support us. Share our stuff. If you do have finances, do support us. I do feel like you can read our comments. You see people. There's impact. So I think we're in a good space.
We're dreaming. I think the main thing is that we're dreaming. Yeah.
How you feel?
And I think that's the one thing is. I was with a friend now before the shooting, and I was just like, I think I'm a bit tired, Now, I'm saying that momentarily, but I think with all of the dreams that we have and the stuff that I have, there's so much in my head and my heart that I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do it?
That's good.
And so I think there's sometimes a feeling of feeling overwhelmed. And wanting perfect scenarios and situations, and so that's why I use a lot of my Sabbath days is when I do a lot of my creativity, my creative work, because that's what gives me joy. That's what rests my heart and my soul. And so I keep that. I feel like it's not a Sabbath day for me if I haven't written something creative. I don't have to do it, but I do it because it gives me joy and it fills my cup. And I'm not doing it for anything other than I'm doing it for myself. And so I think, even with what we are doing here, it's keeping it, Sundays are my kind of like creative days. That's when I think creatively, and if like a song stresses me, I leave it. I just want to chill. You know what I'm saying? So maybe during the week or whatever, and so and that gives me a lot of joy, and that opens up every time when I feel like I want to quit. I make a song, and I'm like, wow, I enjoy this thing. And so I think having that habit of every week I'm doing something creative. Maybe I'll start drawing sometimes. I don't know.
Painting.
You know what I'm saying? Painting.
Like,
I mean, probably not. But so that's how I think I am.
We leave that on toes.
Tell me something. You are not your intentions. You are what you love.
Maybe you want to tell us.
You tell me.
You are not your intention. You are what you love. I think it's the same. It's the same thing we're talking about with the habits. I think we all want to. I think I stopped using resolutions a while back. It's now we call them goals and stuff. I'm sure we all have these things that we want to do, but part of that history that you're coming with is things that you love, good or bad. Unfortunately, I feel like the bad overpowers the good a lot of times, in terms of like the things that you love that are maybe bad habits, and I think that deal with that. Like that's the focus. Like deal with the things that you love. If they negative, that needs to be corrected, right? Because I think with your intentions, and they always talk about dream big, whatever. You can dream as big as you want, but if you have these things that you love, that are holding you back, it's gonna, And I think that's part of my thing personally going forward this year. That's part of why there's a bit of a joy in it, right? And in my thinking about this year, it's like, okay, I've identified the negative things that I love and the positive things that I love, and so now it's about, okay, we kill these negative things, right? It can I mean, Christian language can be sin, right? It can be just it can be, there's just things that I think there's a scripture that talks about weights that slow you down, right?
And just bring you down. And as Paul says, like, run your race with endurance, because you can't run if you're carrying. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be as effective.
Not as effective, and it's going to hold back. And so So I think those are my thoughts. Yeah,
That's good, bro. I mean, there's a scripture here, I think, that I had around you must love your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength.
Yeah.
The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oof.
No other commandment is greater than these.
Yeah.
I love the intentionality, and I looked at, I didn't look at the Greek and all those words.
I thought you were gonna give us the Greek, like Mr.
bro.
Oxford.
I must keep to my brand.
You were just like playing me
must keep
because
to
I
my
want
brand.
to know. I want to know.
Let's keep it. I love the fact that it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your strength. So he mentions 4 things.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to spend some time just thinking about that. He could have just said, love your God with everything.
Yes. But he intentionally...
there's an intention, and this is Jesus speaking.
Yeah.
And then love your neighbor as you love yourself.
He takes it outside of you, outside of me and Jesus.
Yes.
Right? Because he could have ended it there.
Yeah.
But he intentionally also adds that extra problem, because some people might say, hey, if you love God, you love him. No, he made sure he mentioned that.
All your I have to read it. All your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. 3 things.
Yeah.
How you think.
Yeah.
With the gifts and abilities that God has given you. With your soul.
Yeah.
The soul is your body.
Yeah. So emotions,
internally
mind.
and externally.
Okay.
And then with your heart, which is the inner soul, the inner part of you that drives how you live your life. I was thinking about the soul thing. The soul thing is we've always seen it.
It's emotions.
Yeah, we've always seen it as like it's that inner part of you that you don't see but is there.
Yeah.
And then I've actually I read a definition in an older Christian tradition. I don't want to say the is that it's the soul encapsulates everything about Marvin.
Yes.
So hence we in heaven will be given new bodies.
Okay.
But the essence of who Marvin is, I don't know to what degree, is there.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know how, but it speaks about how what you. That's why it says what you do in your body affects your soul. How? When your soul is this inner part of you, but because what you do on the outside affects the inside, because that's who you are.
I hear you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, be careful what you do on the outside, because it's going to affect the inside.
It's connected.
And it's connected. We've always thought, the whole thing of you selling your soul. Yeah. Right?
As if it's
true. Yeah, it's like this
separate.
It's like this separate thing.
Good.
I don't know what I was doing. But
it plays a role. This is good. We've gone on tangents, but I think they all kind of link.
Yeah.
I really like that scripture that you chose there, bro, because I do feel like it brings these.
Everything.
If I had to give you a question like loving God with your strength, what do you think that looks like?
For me, it speaks of this habitualness. It speaks of like the true intent. Loving God is not easy. It's the same thing as loving someone. It's the same thing as fixing and mending relationships. It needs time and intention.
And energy. Energy to come out of you.
Energy, and if you don't, you're gonna lose it.
Careful about using energy. We mean
you know what I'm saying? Yes, energy. Hey, I think we need to close it. It's been a long one. So I think I said a lot, but I think my heart is for us, for you, and for everyone listening, is that we would be formed into the image of God by being intentional in creating habits that will form us to being the people that He's calling us to be.
Yeah, so we can do this.
Love the Lord God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength. And how does that look like?
And don't forget the second part, bro.
And the Lord says, the whole law is summed up in this. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Meaning, then the habits that you create, even the spiritual disciplines, are not for yourself.
Doesn't end there. Does not end there.
Everything you do is for someone else.
That's why we started that thing with the self-care. See how we come back, bro? See how we
It
come.
has to be for someone
can't
else.
just
We're
be
not
like-
living for just ourselves, but we need to take care of ourselves
so we can be able.
so we can be able to give and love to other people. And so whatever habits we make mustn't make us fall in love with ourselves.
And focused on.
That's why I
us
like
only.
that thing of like less in no
Minimalism.
mirrors, no cell phones, because it keeps you self-consumed. You know, I put a post and I got 5 likes, and you're like, I ain't too cool for that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this specific episode of the Intentional Conversations podcast. Please make sure that you leave a review, leave 5 stars if you like it. Would love to really hear your comments on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
And, will also be some posts. Please follow us.
Tell us what you think about this podcast, what we were speaking about, especially on YouTube. I want to see those comments. Lux is very good at replying. If you see, it's mostly him that he replies. So please let us know, because I do think it's a very important discussion. I think again we never give you everything. We can't.
There's somebody that asked for your number once on.
It's a different podcast. It's a whole different podcast.
I had to. But yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Blessings on
Thank you very
blessings.
much.